Call to order the June 17th, 2021 meeting of the Sacramento Transportation Authority and the Sacramento Abandoned Vehicle Service Authority, and welcome all those who are joining us via Zoom or telephonically. And we'll jump right into the agenda after we make just a few announcements. And so I'll turn to our clerk to call a roll to establish a quorum, and then I'll ask Mr. Desmond to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then you can read any pertinent things into the record, Darrell, and then we'll get right into the agenda. So call the quorum, please.
Okay. Desmond?
Here.
Frost? Guetta?
Here.
Harris?
Here.
Kozlowski?
Here.
Kennedy?
Here.
Miller? Natoli?
Here.
Sandhu?
Here.
Chenier?
Here.
Cerna?
Here.
Singh Allen? Speece? Terry? Valenzuela?
Here.
And Vang.
Here.
And you have a quorum.
Okay, thank you for that. And if others join, we'll acknowledge them as they come on online. So, Mr. Desmond, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I will. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam Clerk, you need to read any items into the record?
Yes, I'm actually going to just do the announcement real quick
Sure,
in the
that's all right,
broadcast.
yeah.
So in compliance with directives of the County, State, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, this meeting is live streamed and closed to in-person public participation. Temporary procedures are subject to change pursuant to guidelines related to social distancing and minimizing person-to-person contact. To make a verbal comment at today's meeting, dial 916-875-2500 and follow the prompts to be placed in queue for a Pacific agenda item or off-agenda matter. When the chair opens public comment for a Pacific agenda item or off-agenda matter, callers will be transferred from the queue into the meeting to make a verbal comment. Written comments are always accepted. Send your email to boardclerk@saccounty.net, and your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. This meeting of the Sacramento Transportation Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.net. This meeting will replay Sunday, June 20th at 7 p.m. on Channel 14.
Okay.
And that concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Darrell. Okay, with that, then we're going to go right into our agenda. And the first item is our comments from the public regarding any matters not on the agenda. There is no one in the chambers. Do we have anyone on the phone, Madam Clerk?
Okay, let's see. We do not have any public comment for item number 1 at this time.
Okay, very good. All right, then we'll move swiftly into our Executive Director's Report. Ms. Drago.
Thank you, Director. So first of all, happy June, everyone. In regards to the Measure A decennial review update, all councils as well as the Board of Supervisors have either brought the review in front of council without issue or was delivered in a management report. While we are still waiting on a few official resolutions, we are excited to announce that the update will be incorporated into the second decennial period of the Measure A expenditure plan. However, we are still looking for an ITALC committee member replacement, serve as the third voting member of our oversight committee. Information for that position is available on the STA and the ITALC website. If you know any potential good candidates, please either direct them to the website or to me. Per the board's direction, the authority has met with SACOG on formalizing a policy to utilize the Smart Growth Incentive Program funds to match with our partner agencies for SACOG's Community Design Grant Program. We are currently writing a draft policy and anticipate bringing it before the board at the August board meeting. Those of you might be aware that SR 99 has been closed for the last 5 days, and I just wanted to extend my thanks and gratitude to our Special Programs Manager, Jennifer Dahl, as well as the Freeway Service Patrol for the excellent work they did on that closure. Additionally, District 3 Director Amarjeet Benapal expressed his appreciation for the hard work that the Freeway Service Patrol did servicing that region. So thank you. The authority is currently reviewing and updating our personnel rules and regulations handbook. This document was last amended in March of 2008, and we do not foresee any major changes, but we anticipate bringing any amendments to the board for approval at the board meeting. As regards for additional funding beyond Measure A, as you are probably well aware, there is a lot of conversation at the federal level about upcoming infrastructure packages. I do not want to speak to them individually because it will not be accurate by the time I'm done with this conversation. However, there is also additional funding talked about at the state level. While there are still 2 weeks, we anticipate, before the budget being adopted in its final form. As part of the May revise, there was $11 billion brought forth for transportation, and many of those additional programs could have potential to help benefit our Measure A partners. So this would include a $500 million fund for active transportation. So the extra funding is likely to be spent on the highest scoring projects in the last state and regional ATP cycles. And earlier today, the SACOG board delegated staff authority to program the funds coming out of the agency for any unfunded projects that concluded in the last cycle that concluded in April. So in addition, there will be $1 billion of general fund for transit and rail projects statewide to help improve rail and transit connectivity between the state and regional local services. So our agencies of SAC-RT, Cap Corda JPA, and San Joaquin Rail should help benefit from that program. There will be hoping to be an additional $2 billion into the state highway rehabilitation and local roads and bridges projects to be used over the next 7 years. So hopefully will allow Caltrans District 3 to complete its rehab and improvements on US 50 and I-5, Cap City, and SR 99 in Sacramento County. Additionally, they're hoping for another $407 million for the zero-emission rail and transit equivalent services and infrastructure to demonstrate and to purchase and/or lease state-of-the-art clean bus and rail equipment and infrastructure. This will help benefit the Sacramento County, SAC-RT, and paratransit. Additionally, there's a $1.4 billion for zero-emission buses and trucks to purchase or lease green buses and other vehicles. So the stakeholder agency, SMA-QMD, would benefit from this funding, and it complements financial incentives already provided for cleaner buses and trucks within the county. Again, this is not final, and we do not know what the final legislation will be approved, but this could have a great impact for our local partners to help serve as matching funds for the Measure A program. And Chair, that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you, Sabrina. Any questions by directors of anything in the executive director's report?
I do not see any hand raises at this time from any other members.
Okay, thanks, Rel. I just would echo the thanks that came via Caltrans from the District 3 director, certainly to Jennifer and to our STA leadership for their good work. And it's obviously required a lot of teamwork. And I know the Freeway Service Patrol was integral to certain aspects of the traffic issues that either could have developed or it certainly didn't because of a lot of good work. So thanks again. Thanks, Jennifer. All right. If there's nothing further on the Executive Director's report and no other comments on any of the items that were brought forward, we trust we'll hear in a week or two what comes of what the last item reported on relative to money for transportation projects. And again, remain hopeful that maybe some of that will flow locally so we can continue some of the good work here in our communities. All right. With that, then we'll move to our consent calendar. We have items 3 through 12 on the consent calendar. We have staff here to address any of the items should any member wish to pull any of those items off the agenda. So let me turn to my colleagues. Any questions, comments, or any desire to pull any item off for further discussion off the consent calendar?
I do have one hand raised from Member Valenzuela.
Okay. Member Valenzuela, Katie.
Thank you, Chair. I'd love to pull item 11 from consent, please.
Very good. Okay. All right. So we'll pull item 11 from consent. Any other items to pull off of consent? Did you want to pull it off for a separate vote or just to discuss, Katie?
Both.
Both. Okay. All right. So we'll hold that item. So then we take up the balance of the consent calendar.
I'll move the remainder. Second.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Did you get the maker of the motion, Darrell?
I'm sorry, and who was the maker of the motion?
Chenier.
Okay.
Chenier, thank
Thanks,
you.
Jay.
So I have a first from Chenier and a second from Desmond.
Right. Any public comments? Any member of public sign up to speak to any of those items?
No, I do not have any public comment at this time for any of the consent items, as well as item number 2.
For item number 2 for the executive director's report. Okay. All right. We do have a motion and a second then. We'll go forward with a roll call vote, please, on those consent calendar items. Okay. Holding item 11.
Desmond? Aye. Frost?
Aye.
Guerra?
Aye.
Harris?
Aye.
Kozlowski?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Sindhu?
Aye.
Chenier?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Singh Allen? Spees? Terry? Valenzuela?
Yes.
And Vang.
Yes.
And the motion carries with member Singh Allen, Spees, and Terry being absent.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. All right, then we'll call attention then to item number 11. You want to read that into the record, Darrell, and ask Ms. Valenzuela to offer comments or questions on that item.
Yes, item number 11 is approve allocation and expenditure contract for the Capital Southeast Connector Authority.
Okay, very good. Katie, floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Executive Director, I was hoping that you could do a quick overview over what exactly this item is, and then I have some comments, questions, and direction.
Certainly. Thank you for the question. So this is to appropriate funds to the Southeast Connector for $5 million for environmental mitigation. That is stated in Measure A as part of the expenditure plan through the development fees. And the board approved the allocation, I believe, in October of last year. And this is just issuing the contract for that purpose.
Is it typical on a project for us to spend money on non-construction related costs? I mean, mitigation is arguably construction related, but I mean like actual building of roads and transportation infrastructure.
Frankly, it was in the measure written as it was, so whatever was written is what was done. I can't say typical. Agencies fund all sorts of parts of the construction program, as well as design for many different projects.
If I could,
Yeah.
just by recollection, there was $15 million in the measure for environmental mitigation and habitat preservation. Is that correct?
Let me check.
Because I think it was included, just to the point you made, Sabrina, and to Katie's question, it was built into the measure, called out for, and some of it was to, I think, address concerns about growth inducement along the corridor and to provide for early preservation and set-asides of lands and participation in the HCP as well. I see, Tim, you came to the podium. Maybe you could clarify that.
You're not on.
Yeah, in terms of the reference to the $15 million, it is true that the voters in 2004 authorized expenditures that include 3 $5 million allocations specifically to the JPA for environmental mitigation. One of them is out of the local arterial program. We've already allocated those funds, $5 million, of which they have spent. And the second portion, which is the SGIP before you today, is out of that program, the Smart Growth Incentive Program. And the last portion is out of the Transportation Mitigation Environmental Program. And that portion we haven't allocated yet, but all $15 million is part of the board-approved allocation, as Sabrina referenced, in October of last year.
And to be clear, the board-approved allocation, the measure itself didn't call out of what particular pot with regards to STA it would come from. It just called for $15 million for mitigation. Is that correct?
It comes out of 3 separate pots.
It
clearly states.
The Measure A did call that out specifically.
Yes,
okay.
And it's the only, in terms of the environmental mitigation portion of the program, those are the only 3 times that a specific agency and amount is called out in the ordinance.
Okay, and the third tranche would come when?
We haven't determined that yet, but it needs to come before the end of the program.
Before the end of the program, before the 30 years is up. Okay.
Yeah.
Katie, I'll turn it back to you. I just wanted to get to your question,
Yeah.
dive a little deeper because I know you had some questions on it. Go ahead.
I really appreciate that, Chair, because you got to one of the points I want to make, which is, I mean, to me, part of this is the irony of pulling money out of a smart growth incentive fund for a project that is arguably not smart growth, to build a new freeway through otherwise undeveloped territory, which is going to be significantly growth inducing in sprawl parts of our communities, is something that I think is a little bit antithetical to the concept of smart growth incentive funding. And it's sort of like cart before horse thing. Project's been approved, it's going to happen, let's make it more sustainable. I get that, but I do think it's kind of troubling to me that we're in a situation where we're paying for the mitigation of a project that is having significant environmental impacts on the community. And for that reason, I would love to have more of a staff presentation on the Southeast Connector and sort of the status of the money we give them and just where it's coming from and what it's being used for, just so that I can get a fuller perspective on what that money is going towards and how it's being used by the Southeast Connector at a future board meeting. And I will be voting against this item today. So thank you, Chair, for that. And Ms. Drago, let me know if I need to provide any more specificity on that direction.
Thank you, Councilmember. I will ask the JPA to come into hopefully the August board meeting, and we can have a longer discussion on this project.
Yeah, no, I think it would be very helpful for both an update, but to any questions that Member Vang or Director Vang or anyone has regarding the status of the project and certainly utilization of the funds that have been made available over time and that are projected. So, okay, so we'll make that request to the staff with Southeast Connector and see if we can work that on our August agenda.
Absolutely.
All right, very good. Any other comments or questions regarding this consent matter?
I do not
Chair,
see
I'll
any.
move approval.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded then to approve the consent item, and we are going to do a voice vote acknowledging Ms. Valenzuela's comments. Okay, so let's call the roll, please.
Okay. Desmond? Aye. Frost?
Aye.
Guerra?
Aye.
Harris?
Aye.
Kozlowski?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Sandhu?
Aye.
Chenier?
Aye.
Serna?
Aye.
Singh Allen? Spees? Terry? Valenzuela?
No.
And Vang.
Yes.
And the motion carries with Member Valenzuela voting no and Singh Allen, Spees, and Terry being absent.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk.
And there's also, just to say there, for the record, there is no public
I was
comment
going to
for
say,
item
yeah,
number
there were
11.
public comments. I forgot to ask that before we took the vote. Okay. Very good. All right, thank you, and we'll have more back on on that item in August, hopefully. Okay, that takes us to our separate matters. So, Darrell, you want to call the first item?
Adopt STA final budget for fiscal year 2021-22. This was continued from May 13, 2021.
Okay, I don't know if Sabrina, any introductory, or otherwise, Tim, you're going to take it. So, Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the board. This item before you today is the final version of the draft fiscal year 2021-22 budget presented during the May 13th board meeting. At that meeting, staff provided a report that summarized the significant changes between the current and budget years, in addition to providing verbal context for the budget. The final version is identical to the draft version presented in May, with exception of a few minor editorial revisions and the addition of the appropriations limit calculation adopted in today's agenda item number 10, pardon me. STA staff anticipated having updated development fee forecasts in the final budget. However, STA's consultant, Economic and Planning Systems, is still working on the project and anticipates completing the work in late June or early July. As such, EPS and staff will present the updated information during STA's August meeting. Upon adoption of this budget, staff will post the document on the STA and ITOC websites. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you now. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tim. Directors, questions regarding the budget or any part of the presentation?
I do not see any hand raises at this time from any of the members.
Okay. And no questions here from the dais. Do we have any members of the public?
We do not have any public comment at this time for item number 13.
Okay, if no one has any second thoughts about any questions, then a motion would be in order.
Miller moves approval.
Okay? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. And unless there's any further comments, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Desmond? Frost?
Aye.
Guerra?
Aye.
Harris?
Aye.
Kozlowski?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Sandhu?
Aye.
Chenier?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Singh Allen? Spees? Terry? Valenzuela?
Yeah.
Vang.
Yes.
And your motion carries with members Singh Allen, Spees, and Terry being absent.
Okay, thank you. And thanks again, Tim. How many budgets is that for you? 5, 6? That was his 5th budget, so and you got it done in short order. So thank you very much, Tim, for all your good fiscal leadership. All right, with that, then we'll move down the agenda to the next item, item 14. Jarrell?
Item number 14 is going to be Sacramento Abandoned Vehicle Service Authority Sunset 2022 status update.
Okay, Jennifer's back. Second time around. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Chair and board members. So I wanted to update you specifically on the items that you directed us to look into at the last meeting. In my report, I listed them out for you guys. The first one is to include SASFA tax measuring or tax measure polling in the STA's tax measure survey that was approved. We cannot do that because while the boards sit concurrently, they are 2 separate entities. So I wanted to just advise that that we can't. We'd have to contract with separate under SASFA to do board polling, or measure polling.
Okay, so just to be clear on that, and I assume council reviewed this as well. Bill, you gave the opinion that we couldn't mix the monies?
I didn't give that opinion. I haven't really been asked about this specific question, I don't think.
I thought it was talked about before, but there's been lots of different conversations.
Okay, again,
Because SASFA, we did talk about how SASFA is its own authority and STA is a totally separate one. Correct?
Right, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And the board convened a SAFSA last month and asked to have polling done for this future measure.
They wanted, one of the board members requested that the STA approved polling services couldn't possibly be used on the SASFA polling.
Well, you would need a joint board action, SAFSA and STA, to authorize a contract that had that scope. I don't think that's been done
No.
yet, or if it's a contract under $50,000, the director could execute that.
I think it was just going to include a question or two in the survey document that's going to be used in August, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it would be might be some cost incurred, to Bill's point, but it wasn't to try to do a full survey on the abandoned vehicle authority. It was to try to, I guess, into the mix to garner what.
That's correct. The request was to do, a question or two as part of the STA polling for an additional measure. So, and we were operating under the guidance that, and we can talk further, that it was because we could not use STA funding to do a measure for SASFA, that this is a STA funded poll.
Okay, yeah, so you're talking about the money, yes, right. You can't use Measure A funding to do polling for SASA. That's correct. You could have a contract, and that it had both items within the scope and allocate funding from both pots basically to do that, but maybe it's just easier to have a separate contract
So
for SAFSA polling. The director can execute that independently.
So if there was interest by the board, it's not formally before us for authorization. It's a report back, but there was interest expressed. I didn't hear. My recollection was there wasn't any objections to us asking that question, assuming it could be incorporated into, the polling effort that's going to go forward. So if I hear you correctly, Bill, Council, that if it was, I can't imagine to add one question or two questions is going to be very much. They're going to be making the phone calls anyway, and they'll have to tabulate. So, but they could give us a price, and we could add it on. She has the authority to the existing contract to make that amendment, potentially.
I wouldn't even do it as an amendment. I'd do a separate contract for SAFSA.
Could you?
It'd be the same contractor.
Yeah,
Same consultant.
And merge the effort though, so they would, when they make the phone call, they're asking the list of questions.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a methodology, assuming there's no objections, obviously from the board. But it sounds like there's a pathway, if that's the general consensus of folks who knows. My takeaway is that there wasn't objections to this at the last board meeting. If there are, we can hear today. But I got to imagine it would be a minor contract. It would be additional work. But to your point, you could execute a contract under your authority. And sole sourcing is okay as it relates to.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is that, Sabrina, do you have questions, or are you clear?
Nope, I'm clear. Thank you.
Okay. Well, just on that point, so let me ask colleagues, any thoughts, comments, or questions regarding that? It's kind of evolved here just as we've been talking here in the last few minutes. So any objections to our executive director pursuing as outlined by council to include a question or two as a second contract, but it would merge with the effort we've already authorized under the survey instrument that's going to be used by the consultant in August. So. Any hands up?
I do not see any hand raises at this time from any other members.
Okay. Mr. Desmond, anything? Okay. All right. So I take it that there's no objections, and Sabrina, you have authority working with council and with Jennifer, whatever you need to do to make that happen.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And also,
I assume we have the budget we can do it with, right? There's money.
I would have to review the admin budget for SASFA, but I would anticipate
It's
that
pretty
it would
modest,
be
yeah.
It's a modest budget, but it would be a modest contract as well. So, yeah.
Oh, and Tim says there's plenty of funding, so good. All right. Good. All right. Well, thanks everybody for, again, thank you, Jennifer, for kind of standing by as we kind of talked our way through it here, but good outcome. All right, keep going.
Okay, so the second item that was requested was a cost breakdown for the ballot measure, the polling and outreach efforts. And when I wrote this report, I had just reviewed on the county elections website their guide to measures, and it had a fee schedule. And so I based off the estimated ballot costs based off of that fee schedule. And since then, so my executive director and I did just had a conversation with an county elections official's office staff, and she said that it is correct that the base amount would be the general election base admin fee, and then the base amount would be a first contest, because this measure has never been put on a ballot before, so it would be a first contest. She does not foresee that it would have an additional contest or more pages to it, so it would probably just be the top two, the base and the first contest fee, which is still over $1 million. She is going to look into further looking at how we would place it on the ballot, because it is kind of not a special district per se, but it is a county-wide, but we're its own authority. And since it's never been put on the ballot before, she is going to look into that and report back to us. The other item that was brought up, which is under the same kind of line, is reserving a place on the June ballot. We did talk to her as well on that, and you can reserve a letter for a measure, but there's no actual reserving a spot. As long as you get in the documents that are required by 113 days prior to the election, then you would be on the ballot.
Okay. And that date is Valentine's Day next year?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the next one is the SAVSA members' willingness and ability to cover the cost of a tax measure. We again, my executive director and I did have a conference call with all the SASFA members on March 25th and discussed the status that the STA SASFA board did move forward with an intent to look into a tax measure. All the members want to go for the tax measure as well, and so we agreed that they would start presenting to their boards to get an intent to support the tax measure. Since then, I have gone to 2 meetings. One was Folsom, and they did approve an intent to move forward only, and they also noted that as long as all the SASFA members participated. And Citrus Heights essentially did the same thing. And then I'm still waiting to hear back and get scheduling for Rancho Cordova, Sacramento City, and the county to present at their boards. And the last item was to contact DMV staff regarding alternative solutions to an estimated delay in reinstating the abatement fee. And I'm still working with Al and who we could report or talk to above him on that item. And so I can report back on those. And that's my staff report and update.
So who are you working with? Al?
Al Torrentino with DMV.
Okay, that's your point of contact.
That's my point of contact.
Okay. Sabrina?
We're working on the levels above him, trying to get contacts.
No, and again, I appreciate that's a contact and being respectful to his position, but also to his place of authority on all this. And I think as we talked about last time we visited this matter in our previous meeting, that there's certainly an interest, I think, that, if there is a, desire and intent to go forward to try to close that year or more gap that would occur under the current information that was presented to Jennifer and that you presented at the last meeting. So,
Yeah,
right.
we are trying to be respectful to the hierarchy there, but trying to work up the chain to see if we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I think you had offers from certain members of the board to assist if that was helpful. Okay. All right. Well, let me turn to directors then. A lot of information embodied in the report. Thank you, Jennifer. So let me ask questions, comments from authority directors.
I do not see any hand raises at this time from any of the members.
Okay. Mr. Desmond, anything? Rich? Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't see his hand raised. Did you have a comment that you wanted to make, Member Kozlowski?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify and ask a question. So we just talked about, contracting for some polling on this idea of doing an extension measure. Is this inherently going to be is this going to be a 2/3 vote that's necessary? Because part of the reason that we gave the tentative approval to press ahead with campaign expenditures is some grave concerns about being able to pass this while a replacement or an extension of Measure A is on the ballot at the same time. Not because we don't want to participate in the program or anything like that, or have hesitancy about it going forward. It's just that it seems from a voter standpoint potentially a difficult thing to explain clearly when there'll be potentially a lot of other things on the ballot that are drawing their attention away from this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So commentary, and then I guess those 2 questions.
Thanks, Mike. I think Mr. Burke or Sabrina might be able to address.
I can
Yes,
go.
2/3.
Yeah.
It's a special tax.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were also looking to put the SASFA on the June ballot primary, and then if we were to do one countywide for Measure A for November. So same year, different ballot. So if we were to move forward with an additional sales tax measure.
That helps. So our position is just one for all for one, or nothing.
Okay. Sounds like Citrus Heights joined you in that same cheer. So as it goes forward, you may have started a trend. So
There's a ditto on my part, and polling is going to be crucial. I do think, though, if you look at the tax and it's $1 on your DMV fee, that may be an easier thing to convince the voters on. I don't know, but polling will be important. We have very little money to spare, and so if we did go forward, I got the sense it would be a all for one.
Yep. Well, and I think just to point both of you made, and Jennifer, you talked about that, if you're looking at $1,200,000 or in that neighborhood of cost, if we aren't able to close the gap on the year's loss, and assuming you went to the ballot, that cost would be apportioned by all the participating entities, and so it's going to come right out of the pockets just to get it before the voters. So obviously, it goes to the point that both of you touched on. Okay, any other directors?
I do not see any hand raises,
Alrighty.
and I don't hear anyone shouting out.
Okay, good. Okay. Any members of the public, Madam Clerk?
No, there is no public comment for item number 14 at this time.
Alrighty, very good. Okay, if there's nothing further for Jennifer, then this was a information item with an update. Sounds like we will have an update, if not maybe we want to carry this regular update in August and then September, and I think with the conversation we had previously on trying to include it with the survey instrument, that may give us, we won't have that data right away, but as you get more conversation going with DMB, further clarification from elections and voter registration, if there's more, that'll all be helpful. So thanks to the staff for your work on this, and I think that I don't know who you're working with at the county, but working through our chairperson Frost and the clerk's office and the county exec's office, I'll be able to get this before us for discussion, I would hope, in the July timeframe. So
Okay.
you've got five directors that sit on the board, so you can reach out to our chair or to the clerk and or the county exec. All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, nothing else on that item. That concludes that item, so it brings us down to the time in the program where we're at comments from authority members. So directors, any comments you'd like to make?
I'm not seeing any hand raises at this time from any other members.
Okay, and so we're about to go into summer break. We won't see all of us together again unless there's some matter of great urgency until the August meeting. That is, what's the date of the August meeting? I would ask that.
I should have been prepared. August 12th.
Okay, so this body will again convene together on August the 12th, the next regularly scheduled meeting, and if there's nothing further to come before us and no further comments, we'll stand in adjournment.
And there is no, for the record, there is no public comment.
All right, very good. Down come the gavel. We're adjourned. Thank you all.